So with Cyberpunk 2077 just around the corner, it's a very exciting time to be an RPG fan. That's why today we're looking at the top 5 things all RPG players do. Number 1, go on a killing spree. So you've just unlocked an awesome new weapon, spell, armor, whatever, doesn't matter. It looks so awesome sitting there in your inventory, but one burning question remains. How does it fare against the average citizen? You quickly pack your things and travel to the nearest town, hit quick save. An NPC greets you, totally unaware that they've just uttered their last words. You draw your sword, plunging it into them. Others try to fend you off, but to no avail. They're no match for you. You stroll through the town, the citizens run towards you, making it all the more easy to cut them down. The slaughter can be heard from miles away. Finally, as the last non-essential NPC falls to your unstoppable might, the rest cowering pathetically with their low-level blades, you look out on your work. Proud. Only one thing remains to be done. In a flash, you quick load back. Too many consequences for such an axe to actually be allowed to affect your playthrough, and thus, it's like the whole thing was nothing but a rage-induced dream. Lovely. At number 2, there comes a point in every RPG gamer's playthrough. Perhaps the main questline got boring, perhaps some distant landmark struck your fancy. Whatever the reason, this is the time where you fuck off into the wilderness and piss about doing whatever the bloody hell stupid idea comes to mind. Cause a pile up and see how big a chain explosion you can make. Jump from the highest point in the most ridiculously survivable way possible. Well, never mind about that one. Or attempt the famous, but impossible, stopping of the train. In other games, it's probably something even more simple, like collecting various cheeses. Whatever you choose to do in your time away from the main quest is most likely going to be stupid and contribute nothing to player progression. But hey, if a game can still be fun once you've stripped away missions and quests, it's probably passed the ultimate test of becoming something extremely special, and can hopefully entertain you for hours after its initial runtime. Number 3, romance. Sleep with, marry every possible NPC you can. It doesn't matter if it's technically cheating in-game, you'll do it. Yes, you're technically in a long-term relationship with Yennefer, but what happens in Fairy Tale Cloudland stays in Fairy Tale Cloudland. Am I right? There is some science behind why we're so obsessed with romancing video game characters. As far as I can understand it, it gives a mini version of the sensations we actually feel in real life. It's also a great way to deal with moral dilemmas. Just save the person you're most attracted to. I mean, screw any other reason. I saved Ashley in Mass Effect because, well, she's a girl. Oh, and all GTA players have checked out the strip club at least once. It was probably one of the first things they did in the game. Anyone who says otherwise is a liar. Change my mind. Down in the comments below. At number 4, hoard every single item of any conceivable value. Seriously, anything with a name, anything remotely cool looking, something you haven't seen before and have no idea what it does. Rest assured, it's finding its way into one of your player homes and there it shall remain. Yes, you'll tell yourself you need it and it'll come in handy at some point later in the game. People who say that are kidding themselves, okay? Once those swords enter that weapon rack, that's it. They're there for the rest of the playthrough, the rest of eternity. Even after the save gets deleted, your house of hoarded items is still out there somewhere, floating in the cyberspace of lost data. I often wonder what became of my collection of cheeses. Did it go mouldy at any point? And if so, does that mean it tastes better or worse? And number 5, reading up on the game. This isn't so much an in-game thing, unless there's some in-game literature which provides more info on the game itself, but I think it's definitely worth mentioning as it's certainly something every player does at some point. Hey, you're technically doing it right now by watching this video. Whether it's researching things you might have missed, checking out other people's opinions, or even looking up guides to learn new ways of doing things, there'll come a time where you turn the game off for the day but don't want to stop thinking about it just yet. And where today our phones pretty much track our every move and know what to recommend us before we do, it's hard to escape articles and videos on the game you were just playing when they are literally being shoved in your face. Dear Nokia, my new phone hit me again today. It wanted me to read an article on Cyberpunk. I miss you. Lots of love, Sam Bram. And that was 5 things all RPG players do. Please like if you enjoyed the video, and if you're new here, do consider subscribing. This video is the first and hopefully quite a few of this style. I'll be making some Cyberpunk content once the game drops, so be sure to come back next week if that interests you. In the meantime, go check out some of my sketch videos if you're looking for a laugh after all that intensity. I'm gonna go do some reading up on Cyberpunk since my phone just randomly started showing me articles on it. Weird. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in another video.